There comes a time in Cyberpunk 2077 when the players, as V, must decide what to do with Fingers, a Ripper dock operating out of an abandoned flophouse in Jig Jig Street. During the main campaign, players interact with Fingers while hunting for Evelyn Parker, the woman who commissioned the disastrous heist on Konpeki Plaza. Once they find him, they find out not only the next clue to Evelyn's location, but also what type of doctor Fingers really is. Fingers mainly treats sex workers and drug addicts out of his humble shop. He usually offers good rates for the cyberware he installs, but this comes at another hidden cost. The cyberware he finds is usually second-hand at best, unlike Cyberpunk 2077 itself, which is finally good and downright defective at worst. This leads to a loop where those without much choice get implanted with faulty cyberware by Fingers for next to nothing, only to have to come back to him again when it inevitably breaks. And the next time, he is much less generous and much more open-minded when it comes to payment for his services. After encountering Fingers during the main Cyberpunk 2077 story, it is possible for V to kill him. While this may be the choice for more moral players who detest what the Ripper does to his patients, there are drawbacks to this act. Aside from it being considered a crime, players will lose access to Fingers as a resource they could use further down the line. They also lose this access if V decides to punch Fingers during their interrogation. Despite being a horrible person, certainly not worthy of being called chum in Cyberpunk 2077's slang, Fingers is a skilled Ripper dock, and the cyberware he offers could very well stay an overzealous mantis blade. Pros of Fingers in Cyberpunk 2077. Fingers Jursted is not a good person in Cyberpunk 2077. He knowingly commits medical malpractice by implanting faulty cybernetics into his patients, with the knowledge that they will eventually fail and warrant a repeat visit. In addition, he is also heavily implied to assault his patients when they are unable to pay for the faulty cyberware he sells. When V interrogates him about the whereabouts of Evelyn Parker, it is revealed that Fingers sold her off to a company that made snuff braindances without so much as a second thought. Morally abhorrent, the world would be a better place without Jursted in it. Cons of killing Fingers in Cyberpunk 2077. While morally abhorrent, murder is still a crime in Cyberpunk 2077's Night City, and V will be hunted by the police if they choose to kill Fingers. Also, while Fingers specializes in faulty cyberware, he does keep some more advanced implants for those who can afford it. If V refuses to harm Fingers during the interrogation, they retain access to him as a Ripper dock and gain access to some top-tier implants, which could help make a Cyberpunk 2077 build to experience the entire game, including a high-rarity Sandevistan, as well as the incredibly rare Link's Paws Leg cyberware, only available at one other Ripper dock in the game. If V can swallow their morals and get over Fingers' abhorrent practices with his other patients, they can benefit from letting him live. Players have a moral decision to make when it comes to Fingers the Ripper dock. Killing him awards a bounty on V's head and a lost source of cyberware. Keeping him alive means swallowing morality, but a source of some rare implants. Ultimately, it is up to the player to decide whether V lets this lascivious Cyberpunk 2077 Ripper live, or to punish him for his misdeeds.
Bumping it like this, like this, like this, like bumping it.